Well, good afternoon from Taipei, or good morning to London and Europe, and good evening to LA. I thought I'd do this like a little bit earlier today so that I could get a friend of mine from LA to join. While we're waiting for him, have you heard this new track out on Juicy by Alessandra Galassi and me? It's called Space. To do all that you intend to. So it's kind of confusing because, hey, hello. This is like day 4 for me, but it's also like yesterday. Like if you're in LA, I'm basically talking from the future. And even though it's my 4th day, it's kind of my only my 3rd day of quarantine. So anyway, I was mixing all of this up yesterday, and I'm probably gonna keep mixing it up. Does anybody know how to do Instagram Live anywhere except just from your Instagram app? That's what I was trying to do yesterday, and I wanted to make it look a bit better, and if I could do it from my laptop, it'd be easier to see the messages and things like that, I think. But I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to use this like Manycam software with Yellow Duck, but it just like it totally didn't work. But so if anybody knows how to do it or has had any experience in doing it, let me know, because I haven't figured it out yet. Also, I don't know how to figure it out without going live and just like screwing up while you're doing it live to figure out if it works or not. But I mean, thanks guys for joining me on my Sunday afternoon rant. And actually, this is really good. Doing this, like thinking that I'm doing this every day, is like really kind of been I don't know. It's given me a focus to my day anyway. Not like I don't have work to do, and I'm finally getting my little DJ set up. In case you didn't see, yeah, he's here. Marco de Silva's joining us. Check out that keyboard. I mean, can you get sexier than that? You know what I mean? It's like all black keys. I could not resist. Right, so let's see if we can do this. See if we can have a little chat with Marco de Silva in LA. See what's going on over there. Last night. We're working on it. Instagram's trying. I know it's asking a lot of you, Instagram, but you can do it. Somebody's going to ask about Instagram. Thank you. Yeah, let me know. Just like message me here on Instagram later or whatever. Hey.
Yo.
What's going on?
Tom.
Hey.
I kid you not. I just sent you a message on Facebook, and I'm like, yo, is it today or tomorrow? Because you're 15 hours, and I'm like, wait, let me go on Instagram really quick and see if he's on.
Yeah, no, it's really confusing for me, because for me now is tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right. And we're not the smartest. We know how to punch buttons, but we're not the smartest when it comes to time zones.
No. Oh, look, you've got lighting and everything. I'm just I'm not prepared for this. I'm trying to work with what I've got, and
Hi.
But yeah, but you've been doing a lot of this kind of live streaming stuff, haven't you?
Oh boy. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank God to Joshua D.
Oh yeah, he's the man, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
he's like the mastermind of it all. It's been a rough ride. It's been it's been rough to learn this whole new technology side that we not supposed to know and not supposed to learn. We're supposed to play music and not be producers and directors and editors and
Yeah.
everything at the same time. But if it wouldn't be for that, what would we do? You know?
I know. I know.
And
Yeah.
I'm
You know
so
what?
grateful. I'm so happy and so grateful for these live streams, but they also are tricky for your mind because we all of a sudden drive by numbers, and there is no numbers because there's not many platforms for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then you go from busy clubs where you get the reaction of a build to
I
crickets.
know.
You know,
I just did I recorded a 3 hour set for someone's birthday in Saudi Arabia because they wanted to book me, but I was, well, first of all, I couldn't go anyway because of
yeah.
coronavirus. But second of all, I'm stuck here quarantining for this party at the end of the month. So before I left, they were like, "Do you think you could just record a set for us?" So that's what I did. But so I went into the studio and did it, and it was like, I had moments where I was lost in the music, like happens when you're DJing, and then I would kind of suddenly think, "Oh God, I'm in a room by myself." You know what I mean? And it's
But
yeah,
honestly,
it's a strange
isn't
feeling.
but I feel like subconsciously those are the best sets because we are not distracted by, is the dance floor moving? Is it not moving? Are they in? Are
True,
they out? Do they want vocals? Do they not? You just go with your gut and you
true.
play. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, in many clubs, we cannot do that no more. We always have that little devil behind us, be like, can you play more this? Can you do more that?
yeah,
Because promoters are so stressed out
yeah,
by energy in the room while the whole room is still having fun,
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
there's this layer and this freedom, and I think Josh said that last time, that so many DJs are able to show a different side. A side
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
always had and were
Yeah.
suppressed to play.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's really beautiful to see how educated a lot of DJs actually are when it comes to music, like
Yeah.
where you'd be like, oh shit, I've never heard that sound from you because we are so
Yeah.
restricted to one genre because we've
Yeah.
been put in this one pot.
Yeah. Well, there's so many people you've got to try to please, so wide of an audience, even in a club, like,
But why,
and
let me ask you something. Why do you think in our scene, and I say the LGBTQ general scene, it is that we have to, and you tell me that because at Super Chumbo you play worldwide or used to play or whatever, but you didn't have to really put your thought into it. Oh shit, what am I going to play tonight?
yeah.
You
I
played
mean,
Super
to be
Chumbo, right?
honest, I feel like I totally get that there's like, I would say it's more difficult to play a circuit party for sure, but probably in general. I mean, there's parties in London. I guess they're more like queer parties, right? They're
Right.
that, but that's more kind of like, I don't know. You can do whatever you want, but yeah, in big parties. But I think it's been that way for as long as I can remember. I've always
Really.
felt like I'm up against it, and kind of forced to play, I don't know, more vocals or something like that. When actually I've always played vocals and I love vocals, but actually what I don't love is having to play the same thing all night. And I find that in a lot of cases you kind of have to stick to, in between these boundaries, which I find frustrating. And I get so much feedback from people that that's not what they want. But ultimately, when you're in the DJ booth, you realize like this is a compromise between like what I want to do and
Yeah.
what I need to do to make this room work. And for me, I always feel like ultimately at the end of the day, that kind of wins out. Like I need to make people dance. And I try to do it. I try to make it
But have
work
you? But
within
what
my
about?
own style.
Yeah, but what about that frustration when you are actually making people dance? With whatever journey you choose to, and you go a little bit outside of the box, and people are reacting, but then you have that second thought, and that of like, oh, but the promoter might not like it, and but the dance floor is, the
Yeah.
dance floor is. So that rendezvous and that contradiction it's so hard. And people don't understand that it's hard when you cannot have your own identity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, I would say, yeah, no, it's totally like um, a compromise.
Yeah,
For sure, for sure.
yeah.
But I kind of get it too, though. I think that I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but I think Frankie Knuckles said something like, "Every 3 records you play, you need to play something people know." And I kind of thought, like, I get that too. I mean, I don't know. There's some people that follow a DJ so much and have so much faith in that DJ that they'll go and they're open to whatever they want that he's gonna
Yeah.
that he or she or they are gonna take them on, like, but that's like, you're lucky to be in that position. And actually there's times that I feel like I was able to do what I was doing and people just like let me.
Uh-huh.
But that was like a 15-minute thing, and then it was back to kind of trying to fit into but I feel slightly frustrated by it, but then again, not so much anymore. Like, I feel a lot more relaxed. Like, I don't feel so much like I
Yeah,
never
I
played.
feel also for the past 3 years, I personally found my happy medium where I was able to play a part of me that I like, which is the whole darker techno. And I'm not going all the way drum code, but just a little bit out of the circuit world, but then knowing how to layer a familiar
Yeah,
drum for them,
yeah, absolutely.
right? And
Yeah,
and that mixture of like, wow, I never heard that. Wow, like I would play a Moby vocal instead of the latest Rihanna, but it would
yeah,
just work, and it
yeah,
would be two different styles and something new for them, but familiar enough to stay in their world, They're not
yeah,
taking, and it works, but you just gotta also have the dance floors that allow to do that.
yeah, yeah. And I like doing things that you're not supposed to do, because the other side of that is, like the techno scene. I feel like I've always been, like what promoter told my agent once, Tom is too gay for the straight clubs and too straight for the gay clubs. And I mean, so I think it's also true that it's like, even though I play some techno and things like that, like I can't play in a techno club because you're not allowed to play, you know what I mean? There's just as many rules there. And I'm so not like cool enough to be there at the moment. But so what I like doing is actually just like doing the things that I like, and things that I think are probably like sacrilegious, like playing, which I was doing for a while, which I think works really well. I was playing this Jennifer Lopez a cappella over a UMEC record, which I think, like, I love that
Amazing.
because, you know,
But that's
that,
exactly what it. But that's exactly what it is. It's combine that rough and hard. Let's call it rough and hard for some. But then bring the vocals in that people are
mm,
familiar with, and you just
yeah,
introduce nicely a different genre
mm, yeah,
without
yeah,
taking them out of their the amount of Nicole Mudaber tracks I played in my sets, but I was able to layer them so that it still had that typical tribal
yeah,
underneath. So it
yeah,
just fitted at 4 o'clock in the morning, but it was full on Nicole.
yeah, 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 yeah. I love
So
the track she
it's
did with
just
Skin.
oh, that vocal.
I mean, I
Water,
love
what is it?
Skin, so that, yeah,
Water,
yeah.
something water. Um,
You like this? You like this, you little bitch?
no, but there's this one.
Actually, she did do a couple things, but what does sexuality matter in music? No, that's a really good point. Somebody just messaged that in.
Oh,
What does sexuality have to do with music? No, that's a totally good point. And mm, I've always felt like I don't care where I'm DJing as long as people are dancing and like enjoying the music. You know, the only difference is really between, you know, is that if you've got a room full of people with their shirts on, you're probably in a straight club. If you got people with
The
their shirts
difference,
off, you're probably in a gay club.
yeah, but the problem, and I would like to talk to you about this, because of you having your would you call Super Chumbo an alter ego or a project?
Yeah, no, I would call it an alter ego. Yeah.
Okay, so would you be able to play in the clubs these days as Tom Stefan, where you used to play as Super Chumbo?
Well, you know what's a really interesting thing, and this I'm trying to remember if I've ever done this before. I don't think I have. This weekend, sorry, not this weekend. Next weekend, the end of the month. The reason that I'm locked in this hotel room is because I'm going to. Hey, sorry. I'm going to.
Do a
Sorry,
double.
I was just talking about your birthday mix. Sorry, I'm talking to people on their messaging thing. I'm being
As you
rude.
should, as you should.
Uh, so these parties, they originally asked me to do Super Chumbo. They wanted to do a Super Chumbo night because I played in Taipei many times before as Super Chumbo. So they wanted to do this thing. They wanted to call it. It's like Halloween, so they wanted to call it the Black Chumbo Party. I was like, I'm so up for all of this. And then, but then this, you know, this quarantine and Corona thing happened, and so now, actually, I'm doing both parties. So Friday, I'm going to play a Super Chumbo set. And Saturday, I'm going to play a Tom Stefan set. And so that'll be interesting. And there's crossover. There's definitely, you know, there's definitely crossover. But that'll be a really, yeah, really unique experience. I
That's
haven't really
awesome.
done it.
But see, because they know both of your profiles, right? And because we, I guess, in the LGBTQ scene, we wouldn't go like, oh, he's straight. Actually, we have, especially in Barcelona and Spain and Europe, so many straight DJs
So
that
many straight
play
DJs. I know they're
play in
closet
the gay scene,
straights.
but vice versa, it ain't happening.
No,
It ain't
no,
happening
that's true.
because
Well,
most of the promoters in the straight electronic scene, they go through I mean, it's very different. You have an agent and you don't get booked by the clubs mostly, but it's really like, oh, so you are a gay DJ. It's
yeah,
not a crowd. It doesn't matter what I play. I could play the most amazing melodic techno set, but because your
yeah,
background is gay DJ, so
yeah,
it's sad. It's really sad. It's the same goes in the acting world. A straight actor gets an Oscar to play a gay role. A gay actor has to stay in the closet to play a straight role
yeah, yeah.
because it's not believable. You know what I'm saying? So like we still in that world, in the
Yeah.
DJ world, in the acting world, and it's frustrating that you got to decide what you want to be. You want to be a DJ in the gay scene, or you want
Yeah,
to or you want to go out there with the sharks.
it's true. I mean, there was a time that I was playing like really both, kind of depending on what city. But you know, I just find that music scenes, you know, music styles and things go, you know, they go in and out and shift in and out. And that shouldn't have turned off. And at the moment, there's a huge divide between kind of the circuit sound and, you know, it's like that became more intense. And the house music that I used to play when I used to be able to play the same parties as like Boris or Victor Calderon, that kind of moved more in the direction of maybe Nicole Madaber kind of direction, you know what I mean? It kind of slowed down, and I mean, lost some intensity for me that I miss actually. But so that kind of went too far one way and we went the other way, and the divide means that you can't straddle that divide anymore. It's like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
interesting because thinking of like 10 years back when the whole Iberican sound from Chus and Ceballos, that tribal that you
so
mentioned.
yeah, they do still kind of straddle that divide though.
I think it's coming back. I think
I hope so.
this whole percussion, tribal, melodic, high energy without being a crazy synth on top. is coming back finally, because
Mm.
music gotten a little lost. I feel it just gotten a little very repetitive in all kinds of way, you know. And whether it's circuit or tech house, I felt it lost a little bit of its creativity, or it was very redundant. But
Yeah.
that's exciting that you get to play 2 sets. And
I know, right? I know, right? But also the other thing that I was thinking about is I think that I've played the live stream things that I've done have been, I mean, if you're in a huge room with 5,000 people, to me that kind of, I get why it's called big room house, because like, you know, there's certain kinds of music that works in certain kind of spaces. That stuff works in a big place. But now if everyone's in their living room, we don't need all that energy. We can kind of, you know, bring it back a little bit. And
100%. And that's why in a lot of clubs, for example, with that peak circuit sound, it doesn't work in every club, because sometimes a club is it's low ceiling, it's too small, and I feel like the music is so overwhelming that it just doesn't match. It just doesn't go well.
Yeah.
And it goes well with a big Alegria and all these big ass rooms. Yeah, because the music has so much energy, but you got to play with the room. You know, it's not just the party or the brand.
Yeah.
You know? But that's really, really exciting. Do you actually remember when we first met? That we ever met? Let's say that we ever met.
I know when we met.
The craziest thing is we never met personally.
Yes, we did. You don't remember.
So no, I'm asking you, do you remember?
Oh no, I remember. We met at Peter's party at Winter Music Conference.
Shit, you were playing.
I remember. Actually, I've got a photo of us. I think maybe I was trying to think of this just before we did the call, because it couldn't have been Peter that introduced us, because he must have been playing, right?
No, you were playing. I came with Peter. See, I don't know the night you talking about.
No, but I've got a picture of us. I've got a picture of us in that club in Miami, and maybe I think Sean Riker took the picture.
It was on. All I remember was on Washington, and you were actually playing. Yeah, it's like a small, really like long club, and I've just had moved to the U.S., so I was so new to the U.S. scene and general circuit scene. It was all very new for me. So I heard of Super Jumbo, never heard of Tom Stefan.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, oh, this DJ, you got it. And you know how Peter is. He's like, he's very cute. You can fuck with him. I was like, Peter, what? I was like, Peter, like, you know, he's just this dry-ass Austrian humor. I was like, whatever, let's go. And that's the only time we met.
Yes. I think so.
Together. We never got to share that.
No.
Weird. In all these years with Circuit Festival, but all these
I know
we have in common, we never crossed ways, man.
I know, that's funny. But here we are now, talking across the world. 15 hours apart.
On an app.
Yeah.
My dream come true. I'm talking to Tom Stefan on it.
Right.
Oh, no, so this is the fact that you're doing this, and I wrote that to you a couple of days ago, that you quarantining yourself for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For 2 gigs back to back. I mean, that just goes to show to people how hungry we are. Yeah,
you know what? That's a really good word for it, because I didn't realize, like, I've never had this like flat line to my diary, and like I miss DJing so much. I feel really lost, like, without not working, and the whole process of preparing music and going out and getting that feedback and just doing it feels really like it's my purpose, you know. I go and DJ, that's what I do. It's what I've done for 25 years. And suddenly it stops, and I think that it's possible that I could relax and enjoy this time a little bit if I knew that there was an end point. Like, if I thought, but we all know that we'll be DJing again in the spring. Problem is, I'm not convinced about that. I think it's going to be a long time, and that's really worrying on a lot of levels. You know, on a mental level, on a financial level, and I'm not a multi-talented person like you. You've got, like, you know, I'm not sure I could list all of them: dancer, choreographer, actor.
Yeah, but that's all. Listen, but that's at the end of the day, you know.
Actually, all those things that all those things are fucked by Corona, basically.
That's all. Everything is fucked by Corona. Like, I've. That was just like you. My biggest problem is the uncertainty and the fact that us artists, you, me, DJs, we're fucked. We're fucked, and there's no support. There's no support from us other than the normal unemployment, but that's in America here. It's like 13 weeks.
Oh, somebody's telling us they want to hug us so hard right now. I don't know if he's talking about you or me or both of us, but thank you, Athen. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want to hug you too.
Hug it in. Hug it in. Hug it in. The only time I would say let's do a threesome.
Yeah, right.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like it's really frustrating. And then, you know, I have friends of mine who's like, yeah, but why don't you look at the silver lining? You home, you can create, you can. Well, you try to create for what? I'm putting up these live streams, and in my nature, it's just my nature. I like to do things as professional as I can, as complex as I can. I could easily just press play on my iPhone camera and play. That's just not for me, right? That's not how so I want to make it a whole thing. I did this, I'm doing this radio show with track IDs, with this, with visuals, and it's all fun. But when there's no, and I'm not talking financial, I don't even care about financial. I'm not asking for donations or anything.
I care a bit about that.
Huh?
No, I said I care a bit about that.
No.
I mean, being the DJ really isn't like.
Let me take this back.
It's not my main goal for sure, but you know, it's a bit concerning.
Like, I personally don't do this for a fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So I do this because I need to stay sane, because I need to have something to do, and I need to distract myself from being home all the time and from not knowing where we are going as artists and when we can go back to the clubs and
absolutely
how we ever go. And also, how is it going to be? It's not going to be the same no more.
No. I don't know how venues will survive. I don't know how airlines are going to survive. Just by the way, it's Athen, and he wants to hug us both.
Hey, Athen. Oh, I see. You guys have given us so much. Oh, much appreciate everything you guys give us. That's very sweet.
I've got a couple messages like that. And just by the way, it's really cheers me up, because it's actually, well, again, like if you're not in a club and seeing people, even, you think, I don't know, is anybody paying attention to this? You know.
I think people are, you know, and then, you know, I've been talking to a couple of DJs that do the live stream thing, and I'm one of it to get also affected by it. You know, you're disappointed because you see these low numbers, and you're like, what are you doing this for? Because no one cares. And it's not that people don't care. First of all, on top of this, Facebook is not trying to be our friends with coming with all of these limitations of not being allowed to do live streams, and you get blocked and you get this, right? So now we don't have a platform. And then also the algorithm is the next thing. Because I saw something. Madonna 2 weeks ago was live on Instagram. Now Madonna has 15.4 million followers. And she didn't announce when she's going live. There was only 11,000 people watching. Which goes to show that the algorithm doesn't show it.
Right.
Just doesn't show it because it just doesn't add up. A Madonna is online for half an hour talking about projects, and there's only 11,000 people watching when she has 15 million. So which goes to show when we go online, it's
relatively speaking, I guess we're doing as well as Madonna.
There you go. Thank you.
Right?
Because that's our algorithm. But then you get like disappointed because you think like, damn, we're doing all this effort, but it doesn't reach out to people. Like it doesn't, you know. So it's been a rough journey, more like. both lie and
Yeah.
we don't have anything to look forward to. But we just got to keep pushing, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Keep pushing and do what you do, man. That effort is, I applaud you for that. Being locked up for two,
For doing this, yeah.
dude, straight up for 2 weeks in
Yeah.
Taipei. It's not, it's nuts.
It's
That's
I
how
think
much
it.
we need
Yeah.
it, and that's how much we need it,
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that. Now, have you been able to be productive?
I haven't been able to be productive yet, but I did actually manage to get my how fucking sexy is that keyboard
Oh,
out
look at
today.
that! Yeah, it's black and red.
So I'm getting really close. I just needed to get over jet lag. Like I can't, like, I don't know. There are some days that like my inner whatever child or whatever is like cooperative, and there's other days that he's like, fuck off, I'm not doing anything today.
And you
And I'm
have to
like,
allow
come
yourself,
on. And it's so
allow
far,
yourself to be that, though.
it's like, no, I'm sorry. It's like we're watching Netflix and eating Doritos, maybe tomorrow. But I'm getting closer. I'm thinking Monday it's gonna start.
You think?
Yeah.
You thinking is a good start, though.
Yeah.
I've
I'm
learned.
planning on it.
I've learned. If there's one thing I've learned from this COVID thing and being at home, is to take it easy on myself. Because as us as DJs, we have to be so much in one person. Because now we need to produce our podcast. We need to do the flyers for our podcast.
Figure out how to do Instagram Live.
We need to socialize on the media. There's so much. It's a 24/7 job. And if you don't take a day off or two and allow yourself just to do nothing and just to not be creative and just to disappear from social media for 2 days, you go cuckoo, because it's just too much. The to-do list is a never-ending thing,
Yeah.
So for sure, take your time off.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do the Netflix, do the chill.
Yeah.
Are you in a relationship?
Sorry.
Have you been partnered up in this COVID thing?
Well, I was at the beginning, and I found that really helpful. I was staying with my boyfriend in New York, and it was right in the beginning when New York was really scary, and the whole thing was really intense. And so I really appreciated being there with someone that I love, and like being able to kind of hang on to them, And but I'm not so sure that there wasn't some backlash afterwards, because we're not together anymore, and that's really sad. And I do think that the stress of not working and me kind of being in New York and trying to fly back and forth, even though you weren't supposed to do that, it was pretty stressful. And it was either we're together 24/7 in an apartment in New York, or we don't see each other at all. And it was just a bit too it was a bit too much. But at the beginning I was, and that was really helpful. Yeah, definitely.
I couldn't imagine doing this by myself.
Mm.
That I think of my friends, and I've reached out to them so much, because I'm like, this. And I'm here in LA, we're not good. We're not good at all.
Yeah.
It's still a shit show here in the US in general. It's still a shit show. With no ending in sight. Well, let's hope with the elections that something happens. But,
oh my God, let's pray.
Uh,
I voted. Just saying. Hope all 12 of you who are listening right now voted too.
See, I'm not allowed to vote, so because I'm on my green card, so I'm not. Right.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to vote.
I'm still a U.S. citizen. I still file a tax return, so I voted.
What's your heritage? Are you?
I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born in Western New York, like 90 minutes south of Buffalo.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then you moved to London.
I moved to London to be with my boyfriend at the time, but that was back in 1991. Don't start doing the math. It doesn't come out good.
The good times.
Yeah. So. Well, listen, I really appreciate you hanging out and having a chat.
You go do your thing. Lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. And hopefully we'll cross paths one of these days in a club with some loud music and bright flashing lights and too much smoke and a lot of people. Because I missed that.
Send me that picture. If you find
Yeah,
it.
I will. I will. I've
If
got
you
it.
find it, send me that.
All right, I will.
All right.
All right.
My love
Take
to
care.
Taipei. Bye, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
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 No, I'm not. Well, I'm a UK guy now, Ethan. I mean, I've got a British passport now, so I've got both because I've been there for so long. So they can't throw me out like they're trying to do with everybody else in the EU with this ridiculous Brexit. Okay, so I had another exciting thing planned today, which I thought, I can't believe I haven't thought about doing this before, but I thought I would share with everybody my infinity toilet. Because if anybody's watching, if you haven't been, there's a couple exciting things about this. If you've never been to Asia, you have to see the toilets. I mean, I don't understand why these aren't everywhere in the world because they make so much sense. Sorry, I hope you're still watching. This is really exciting. Okay, let me just see. How do I turn my camera around? Okay, right. So this is the toilet control. So all you have to do is press this button and, like magic, ta-da! And you press this button and ta-da! I mean, how amazing is that? Now, there's also these buttons. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. I did actually try earlier and they don't work unless, obviously the toilet knows if you're sitting on it, so I can't show you without sitting on it, and that's maybe just a bit too personal. There's a fan, there's a temperature control. I mean, hello, how amazing is this? So we'll just we'll close everything. And then I'll show you the other exciting thing. As this is a Philippe Stark hotel, you wouldn't expect anything less than an infinity toilet. I mean, how great is that, you know? That's amazing. I mean, yeah. When I sat down in here the first time, I thought, I'm definitely in the right hotel. All the mirrors while yeah, exactly. You can watch yourself from literally every angle while you're on the toilet. So, I mean, yeah. How fucking cool is this hotel? Yeah. So, has anybody got any questions? Yeah, will I DJ any different after quarantine? That's a really good question. I mean, because like we were saying, I feel like some of the DJ sets that I've done on live streams have been slightly different because then they're not as much kind of like big room house because I'm not in a big room and people aren't listening in the same big spaces. So I play some kind of like some music that like some of the music that I buy and then never really have a chance to play. It's kind of given me more of a chance to play stuff like that. I was doing parties in New York for Scruff and it played a lot more like house on those, and that was really nice. It was really yeah, it was really cool to get a chance to play that stuff. And so I have no idea what that's going to mean when clubs start reopening, whenever that happens. And I can't imagine when that's going to happen because I just don't think it's going to happen before there's a vaccine for everyone. Oh, this thing stopped turning off on me. Yeah. I might be doing, Ethan wants to know if I'm doing any gigs. I might be doing some gigs in the US, maybe in December. It kind of depends, you know. It's really, I'm really torn about doing those things because on one hand, I don't want to be involved in endangering anyone or spreading the virus. At the same time, I really understand why people want to get together, and why businesses need to open, because, you know, they're opening restaurants. They're concerned about all of these businesses that need to open, and they're not so concerned about nightlife. And it's really sad, because obviously these venues, like, people can't just keep, you know, I don't know how anyone's coping, really. So I'm really happy that I've got this opportunity to come over here and play. I mean, you know, they've got, they seem to have really, really good control on the virus here. And so we're able to do this party. And so I kind of thought about, like, doing this live stream. Wow, we've been talking for ages today. I kind of thought about doing it as a way to document like this quarantine and see how crazy I go. And what I'm about to do next might prove that I'm starting to go crazy. But since it's like all the rage at the moment, I thought, why not? It's the wrong mix. Who am I to keep you down? It's only right for you to play the way you feel it. Listen carefully to the sound of loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you loved and what you had, ooh, and what you loved. I mean, I hope this doesn't mean I'm going crazy, but yeah, so I've now come out of the closet as a Fleetwood Mac fan. One of my favorite songs ever. I don't really get the TikTok thing that's happening, but maybe people are just discovering what an amazing record it is, and how what a great songwriter Stevie Nicks is. And so I just thought I would end on that. Do I have any dreams I'd like to sell? You know what? I've never thought about that. But there's a lot of lyrics to that song that feel very relevant to me. And anyway, so I'll be back tomorrow ranting about something else. If you want to talk to me, if you want to like come on and have a chat with me, just like send me a message. Let's hook it up. Let's make it happen. Why would I be in the closet for liking Fleetwood Mac? I just, it kind of somehow doesn't work with my super chumbo image, you know? I'm like, you know, nights are rap, industrial music, but actually the truth is, yeah, on Sunday afternoon, I'm happy to hear some Stevie. And like when I'm on the plane home from a gig, yeah, Fleetwood Mac, Steely Dan. It's my roots, I guess, actually. Anyway. Yeah, so listen, if you know how I can do this Instagram live thing better, if I can do it from my laptop, anything like that, or if there's anything else you want to talk to me about, I'll be back tomorrow. So let's hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me.